All right, ladies, here we go. Got my headset, but hopefully this works. Oh, a guy I've never seen. I may not have the best commentary today, but I actually own a replica of this one, and it's very different in person. Wow. Let's go to the open ones. Some mayonnaise sketches. Oh my gosh. Wow. So loose. Be loose. But you can't be too loose. Got some ballet dancers, all very popular right now. Secrets of maneuvering galleries. When there's a lot of people, is you head straight for this is one of my favorite Lautrecs. I did a copy of this gal. Look at that pair. The colors are so much more intense on the screen, just FYI. It's actually a pretty neutral painting. Her face is not, her lips are not that bright. Wow. But still, what a dream. Champagne glasses. Poor dude, anonymous guy. Cut off the frame. Here's Jane Averill, looking very down to earth. But man, what an outfit. Wow, what an outfit. Don't forget your umbrella. Yeah, there's like pastel in this. So it's a painting, but he drew on top of it with chalk. Is the whole thing a pastel? Yeah, it's called oil paint and pastel. He was so innovative. And he's working on brown paper. You can see it in the corner, and there's actually a scrape. See that compression or yeah, it's either brown paper or cardboard. It's cardboard. Yeah. Nice. And then yesterday, I should have filmed this, but there's this beautiful Ang portrait. It was a scene at the the National Gallery. It was called Face to Face, and they had a Monet, or excuse me, an Ang next to a Picasso, and the Ang had a reflection in the corner. There was a mirror that you could see the profile of the woman's face, and that's exactly what this is based on. So there's a mirror in the background. It's not a second person. But it's so awkward with the angle that it's kind of unnatural. With that light in the background, I've never seen it looking more like a full moon. It's a full moon. I mean, it's a light, but it's a full moon. Wow. Total Manet masterpiece. He can do champagne bottles. I've never seen this in person ever. He can do flowers. He can do oranges. Aren't you glad I started this Zoom call? I bet you that's a little, one of those little cameos. I bet you she's wearing a little cameo. But like the kind of the disenfranchised look, I feel like is what people are attracted to. It sums up that vibe, that kind of drank too much absinthe too many days in a row. That bracelet. Oh my gosh. What a treat. I love his style. I love how loose he paints. So good. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of, well, I'll talk about maybe a little bit in this video, but the space between, and I went to this Raphael show yesterday, and it's so interesting, the space between, you know, the gaps in her arms, the table in the background. Too close, thanks. Of course I get yelled at. It's a pretty main character. Look at her, this couple. He spent a lot of time. Well, she's in high contrast. I love those gloves. And then the classic, the onlookers, the gays, the 19th century gays. They must be at the concert. Anyway, Maureen, you're right. The gallery is spectacular. Couple open Monets. Hello, Monet. It's a pretty sky. That orange bush. He loves those reflections. It's almost open. Let's do the flowers. Oh my God. I tell you what, thank goodness for Monet. We're so much better for having them. All right. We've got Hogwarts over here. I did a bunch of yesterday at the British Museum. I posted a picture of one of these. These are all Seurat studies, and there was one where he put the rainbow in, but he took it out of the final, like the bathers. There's no rainbow in the final, you know, just 6 foot tall by 8 foot long painting of the bathers. But in one of the studies, there's a rainbow. And he took it out so I called him a coward in public on my Instagram. I don't know if that was a mistake. These studies are gorgeous. And the point I was making yesterday is that the pointillism, these are actually really traditional brushstrokes right here. And then he's moving towards pointillism. This is another study for the bathers. And then here's where he explodes into it, you know, and becomes ... Seurat. So this is 1889 versus 1883. You know, so he's coming out of, and then here's even a year later, 1890. So he hasn't fully achieved his ... Seurat status. But he has here in 1887. Love that tree. Now we have it to ourselves. The infamous young woman powdering herself. Fully exploded into pointillism. The bathers are a space between. She's lovely, plump and lovely. Definitely a sphere project. Also notice the just the spectacular frame within a frame. He literally paints the border, and it's a glorious color study. And it transitions. Let's just follow this rainbow around. Went from blue violet, over to blue green, back up the side plane to reddish, red orange. And then look at this corner. He actually vignettes it. Look at the vignette with the arch. Oh, what a dream. There's another set of flowers. Really does the flowers in the frame. Nice green vase. The only green notes in the whole picture. There's a couple other green notes in the powder puff, and then also noticing down here in the leg. But that's more yellow green. I guess it's the vase and the powder puff. Nice. He's crushing it. Yeah, and what we were talking about when we did the lesson, look at the halos. You know, dark halo above the arm, light halo below the arm. And the dancing of the swells, like marshmallows. The background is just like puffy, atmospheric marshmallow forms. What a dream. Yeah, you definitely loved her. Dynamite. Here's Don Quixote, Daumier. It's crazy. These paintings are huge. Huge. They don't look very big, but and the pictures look much brighter on the camera. There's a Monk special exhibition going on right now. Oh, and this is it. We are in the Monk special exhibition. It's not exactly good vibes. A little scary. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Monk's too scary. I can't show it. I suppose Gauguin's all right. Except for sleeping with inappropriate people. This is his journal. Wow. Really nice handwriting. Here's some of his Tahitian women. They're available. He is referencing Renoir here. There's a green Renoir painting that was at the British Museum yesterday. So good. Not the British Museum, the National Gallery. This is a shout out. Keyed in this red, high intensity red, high intensity yellow by the pillow. Could have been the same group of ladies in that drawing. This one came to DC. So I was lucky enough to see this in Washington. Look at that little kitty. Little kitty. I guess that's a little baby. Oh, it's a baby in a crib. It's a room full of his paintings. Nice. Yes, it's not a landscape in the background. It's a painting of a landscape behind her head. All right. Well, I thought there were some Van Goghs here. I haven't seen them yet. Maybe a whole nother space that I'm missing. Or they could be on loan. It's a pretty Cezanne. Wow, that big tree trunk. Mountains around me are just like fans. So it's just repeated directions. These long reflections in the water. I mean, it's a great painting. I'd live with that. A woman maybe do an incredibly meticulous copy of this cast with the fruit. I know this painting so well. I almost just passed over it because I was like, oh, there it is. But it's the first time I'm seeing this in person as well. Look at the single stroke on his little manhood there. One stroke. That's all it takes sometimes. Yeah, Van Gogh actually had this kneeling sculpture back there. Van Gogh did a bunch of studies. It was a very popular sculpture at the time. Plaster cast, I should say. Some onion, apples. Look at these apples. I'm going to teach those when I come back. They're just so nice. Fruit is easy. Save it for your old age. And they hold still so nicely. In the purest godly forms you'll ever find. And then in DC, we have a bunch of these kind of unfinished landscapes. And what I love about them is that they show you the prepared surface. You know, the canvas, basically with just a prime, just primed. And you can see how at least Cezanne builds them up. And here he's really, I feel like, using the underpainting. Who knows? Was it called Infinito? They said that for those raw sculptures that Michelangelo made at the end of his life. This one's called Turning Road. All right, the ballerinas are available. These ladies don't get in front of me. Yes. Here we go. Notice how her legs are completely disconnected from her body. This pelvis would be facing the back wall. It's the tutu that hides the distorted anatomy. She looks like she's doing a dab. The dabbing ballerina. Flowers are spectacular. I'm telling you, the light looks so good in the phone. And then these layers are actually backdrops. So they're two-dimensional screens made to look like three-dimensional paintings as the stage set for the show. It's just a nice painting. Everyone loves it. And this looks like it's an early Morisot. She's my favorite impressionist, obviously, but this is very much in the style of like Monet. It's a very Monet-y portrait. I thought it was Monet, but I was like, it's too good for Monet. The color's too good for Monet. It has to be Morisot. Look at those hands. Those are like Lautrec hands. They're so good. Purple flowers. As good as Van Gogh could ever dream. She has it all. It's just entitled Portrait of a Woman. But yeah, it was 1872, right? So so she was like 20, 25, maybe 30, but still, she was still living. This is like the same year, but this is Renoir and he's much older. He's probably 60 at this point. There's the gaze again. Everybody loved the binoculars, seeing the stage performance and then seeing each other. Mm-hmm. All right. Is that dancer? Let's see what's in this space. This is Kakashka. I'm not allowing anyone to see that. Have to draw the line. Another Renoir that's available. Don't let anybody tell you can't paint a painting with only small brushes. Because that's what he did. And especially towards the end, he did not care. He was like, I got all the time in the world. I got all the time in the world. And they love what's going on in the shadows, these backlit trees. Yeah. Oh, I mean, if we looked at this in black and white, you'd probably not be able to distinguish sky from trees because they're all the same brush strokes. It's just he separates the nature by color. Look at that patch of grass. All those values so similar. I don't want to get yelled at again. The hierarchy of the trees is so nice. I mean, the design is perfect. It brings you back into space, not too aggressively. Lets the houses be the show. Bold triangles, bold rectangles. Architecture is just perfectly balanced out by the wild nature. So tamed. The infinity is just managed. It's like said, it makes it look so easy. Yeah, he's a great man. Oh, there's a Van Gogh self-portrait. I walked right past them because they weren't available. That's why. It's a portrait when he cut off his ear. And the bust itself is larger than life. And he's got his hokusoi in the background, this easel. I've never noticed that before. He's got his little easel. And his hokusoi, Mount Fuji. Look at Mount Fuji. Yeah, there's like a pad. There's like gauze underneath that thing. Surprised they didn't put blood on there. Shows how expensive it was. But not without a sense of humor. Yeah. I don't know. It's a long way to go. It was just it was one bad night. It was one bad night. I'm trying to look at the year on this. I mean, Van Gogh is more of a pointillist. He's as much of a pointillist as Seurat. And he's using the architecture to tame the landscape, just like Renoir. And he's in love with these springtime blossoms. Obviously, he did the blossoms many times, but Oh my God, he must have been crapping his pants when he saw all these cherry blossoms. Look at that, there's a guy in the field. These little field figures. This chimney, it's almost like an afterthought. He's like, I need a red note up there. So he puts a chimney. Oh my God, look at that little distant mountain there. He made his own Mount Fuji. That's his own Mount Fuji, people. That's not there. He wasn't there. That wasn't there. He put Mount Fuji in the painting. That's kind of a discovery. There's his wagon wheel. Classic wagon wheel. Perfect rectangle, perfect semicircles, perfect triangle. The wagon's got everything. That's why it's so useful in our painting. And then the bands of color in the sky. Look at that. The sky's painted from left to right, and then from, probably bottom to top, actually. But landscapes are painted in bands, one side to the other. Mountains are spectacular. I cannot believe they put Mount Fuji. One more look at that. All right, we can gaze at the Van Gogh until we can get a close-up of the self-portrait. Each tree is perfect. Green eyes, baby. So interesting. The camera, how it distorts it so much. All right, we've got a couple minutes here. I've commandeered the Van Gogh. It's ours. Let's look at his eye. Oh God, the purple, the red, the green, the yellow highlight. Get out of town. The economy. Look at the keystone. Angry keystone. Dunzo. So nice. Patches. Not pointillist here. All right, y'all. That was good. So good. Oh yeah, here's this little Cezanne, or the pointillist. It does look like the Bathers. Similar composition to the Bathers. And then Syrah again. Let's just do this. Look at the space between the bosom and the bra strap. That's what I'm talking about. It's all about the space between. Yeah. Space between the hands, the table, and the dress. He loved it. Looks like there's a plant on the ground too. I'm sure she smelled wonderful. All right, people, that's the Zoom class. There's your special Zoom class, June, 8th, something like that? Yeah. All right. I hope you get this when you wake up. I think it's like 4 in the morning for you. So happy Thursday. I miss you all very much. Cezanne. And it's not the Cortland Gallery, it's the Court Hall. So don't try to write Cortland. You won't find it. All right. God bless everybody.